right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Wahavrcha Kodash, which Yahweh, that's the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, that's whom this world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. It's his true name, and the Ruach Kodash, that is the Holy Spirit. And I would like to also give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to all you brothers out there. And I just want to do a quick lesson that was based on a statement that was made yesterday at camp. And the elder brother, Jeremiah, and I were teaching with the younger Akim. And he made a statement talking about how basically, black culture, okay, is a product, okay, of Esau and Babylon, all right? And, we were going into how the reason why, our people, they don't want to come into this truth is the fact that they have to deal with accountability and that there's a standard, okay, that comes with, following the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, all right? And you see, this society, they don't teach you these things. They teach you to be proud, okay? Basically anti-Messiah, all right? Anti-Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, okay? Because, we live in a present evil world, as the scriptures say, all right? And we have the wicked in rulership, so he's not going to do anything righteous, all right? He's not, you got to think about that. If the wicked is in rulership, where they want to push something that's contrary to their agenda, all right? And our people have been cultivated, all right, to go against Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. And it's even to the point where you got people that call themselves Israelites, they of the circumcision, who are doing very evil acts, okay? First and foremost, our people are proud, all right? And as the scriptures say, let me get that. I'll actually start off with this scripture here in the book of Sirach, chapter 10, I believe. Give me one moment. This is Sirach, chapter 10, verse 12. And it reads here, "The beginning of pride is when one departeth from the Most High, Yahweh, and his heart is turned away from his Maker. For pride is the beginning of sin." And the reason why is because the second you have pride, you feel that your ways are actually better than Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai's. Okay? You see? And now you're becoming contrary to what Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai has said to do. Okay? "For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination." And you see it. Okay? Our people are out of their goddamn minds right now. All right? They have that a homosexual demon on them. Okay? A cuck demon. Because we were talking about that on the line. And like how we said, it's even to the point where you got it in Israel. People who are supposed to be they of the circumcision. You see? All right? People are into drugs, idolatry, murder, raping, being a thief, so on and so forth. They're covetous, as the scriptures say. Let me keep reading. "And therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly." All right? And you see that with our people. They die in some horrific ways, and it's only going to get worse, all right, as time progresses, as the judgments get more harsh, more swift. You see? All right? But point being, though, is, that's why they don't want to deal with this truth, though. They don't want to have a standard. All right? Because Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai expects you to follow XYZ things, All right? Now, I'll say this, just a side note. Are we going to be perfect? Of course not. We're going to fall, mess up. But, the Lord expects you to fight, okay? To try to be the best that you can be. But our people just want to be a bunch of lowlives. Because, like how the elder, brother Jeremiah said, it's easy being a nigger, bro. There is really no standard. You know, look, all you have to do is wake up, roll up a blunt, hit the blunt, and do a line, okay? Go play some 2K real quick, eat some cereal, get up, go to the block, shoot some dice, commit adultery, you know, plan and scheme on how you know, you're going to rob your neighbor, you know, your brother, your cousin. You know what I'm saying? It's very easy. This stuff isn't hard. It's hard fighting the flesh. That's a real battle right there. Okay? You saying no to a woman, right? That's willing to give it up to you, but she's got a man. That's hard. Okay? It's hard, you know, holding back, right? When you want to you know, execute judgment on a sodomite, okay? You know, on one of these wicked Edomites at your job. That's a true battle right there. Being a nigger is not hard, man. It's easy. Why do you think the majority of our people are doing it? You know? But at the end of the day, though, you know, this was all a creation by Esau. Okay? You see? Esau got in power and he created niggers. And it's just facts. Okay? And basically, you had a role reversal that happened. Because Esau's the original nigger, bro. All right? Just straight up. You know? He's the one that's a caveman, you know? He has no standards, no law, so to speak. He has no real class. But he learned from us because, you know, during the dark ages, right? He learned from us because, you know, Jake got Esau together, so to speak. And then he slowly, you know, slipped his way through and got into the, you know, into the ranks, so to speak. And then, you know, Jake ended up falling. All right. And then now he's the one that's more bright than the children of light. You know what I'm saying? You see? Like I said, it was like a role reversal. Now our people are the lowest of the lows. You don't want to be around one of these blacks or these Mexicans or Puerto Ricans, man. Dominicans, stay the hell away from them as far as you can. They're the worst thing ever created. Worst thing to ever be around. All right? But let me get this real quick. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 26, and it reads here, "The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduces them." And our people have been seduced by the wicked, okay? And the reason why is because they're in power. So our people look to them for the answers. Well, since you got, you know, the power, you got the money, you know, you got the businesses, you know, so on and so forth, you must be doing something right. That's how they see it. So our people, they started following after Esau, listening to him, making deals with the devil. All right? And now this is what you see. Black culture. Okay? All of our women, you know, getting abortions. I just saw a video. You had this woman, or this bitch, hold on, let me excuse me, because I wasn't even a woman. All right, this bitch, right? She had to be in her early 20s, going to the abortion clinic with her friend. They were drinking Don Julio, whatever, right? Celebrating that she's about to get an abortion. They're about to walk in there and get the procedure done. And she's sitting there laughing, twerking. That's black culture right there. You know? Every goddamn, you know, black's got fucking dreadlocks. Every fucking Mexican has a shag. Hey, out here in Chicago, that's a heavy demon, man. The Mexicans are out of their goddamn mind. Okay? They got the heaviest gangbang demon on them. As you see a Mexican with a shag, go fucking to the opposite side of the street. Fucking just turn around and just get the hell away from him. Okay? This is all we see, man. Then Jake, let's just say they, they're not on that, for lack of words, low-level spirit. Then all of a sudden, they're in Hollywood, right? With a bald head, bald face, wearing a little tutu. Go look at The Rock, okay? Look at all these celebrities. All that, doing something strange for some change. And then when they have these different parties, right? The all-white parties, or one of these all-black parties, right? Where they got to wear all white or all black. They're doing some strange sexual ritual behind closed doors. All that just to get a little bit of fame, a little bit of money. You see, our people are completely through. All right? And now, with that all being said, they have become like their father, the devil. This is John, 8:44? This is John 8:44. Ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. For he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. For he is a liar and the father of it. Okay, and that's our people now. They're just murderers, liars, thieves. They're like Esau now. They're like little gremlins. If you ever watched that movie, The Gremlins, that's these niggers out here, bro. These spicks. That's them. All they know how to do is just create havoc. Be destructive. And they learned that from their daddy Esau. All right? Like I said, Esau and Babylon, they created black culture, man. To be lewd, to be out of your goddamn mind, to be rebellious. You see? But see, eventually the Lord is going to stop this. This isn't going to go on forever and ever and ever. The Lord's going to put an end to this madness that our people are doing. All right? Because as the scriptures say, this is one of my favorite scriptures, actually. This is Revelation 22 and verse 12. Actually, you know what? Let me start at 11. This is Revelation 22 and 11. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. And you see, our people have gone through this cycle from generation to generation. All right? You've always had the righteous of our people and the holy of our people. It's been like this for the longest. Okay? And I'll say this, we as men of the Lord, we don't care about the majority of our people because we understand that they're part of the unjust. They're part of the filthy. We're only worried, okay, about the righteous, right? It says, inquire how the righteous shall be saved. That's in the book of 2nd Ezra. That's what we're focused on. Those that are, changing their ways. Those that are following Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay? In word and in deed. You see? All right? And we understand that this is the last time that our people are going to act like this. And with that being said, they're going to go all out. They're like Esau. Hey, this is their last hurrah. So they're going to go guns blazing. They're going to go out guns blazing, man. You see? But let me keep reading. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. All right? And that's what's eventually going to happen. Everybody's going to get the reward, whether you be a part of the righteous or whether you be a part of the wicked. And like I said, eventually the Lord, he's going to stop this madness. Okay? Because look, there's a reward for being wicked. Okay? To be carnally minded is what? Death. Let me get that real quick. In Romans. All right? This is the book of Romans chapter 8. And I'm going to start at verse... I'll start at 5. Y'all start there. I'll start at 5. This is Romans chapter 8. Yeah, that Shag is a goddamn demon. If you're from Chicago, you know that shit is fucking folly, bro. This is Romans chapter 8, verse 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit. All right, so you know, a carnal man's going to be after the flesh, you know, and a spiritual man's going to go after the spirit. And let's see who wins at the end of the day. Okay, let's see who wins at the end of the day. Best believe a righteousness is going to prevail. Righteousness is going to come out on top. All right. And it's evident every time you just look at our people. Look, man, they're either spiritually dead, walking around, just completely through. All right. If they're not that, they're in jail. If they're not in jail, they're getting, sodomized. All right. By by a small hatter. If that's not happening, then they're 6 feet under. This is what's going on. All right. Fucking just through, man. Hey, the men of the Lord, hey, they're getting all these spiritual W's. Hey, becoming better each day, and ultimately getting the victory at the end. Come on, man. We're winning. Hey, that's why we got this confidence on us, because we're spiritually overcoming this place, man. And of course, it's all through Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. We see the downfall of our enemy, and we're rejoicing at that. And our enemies include Esau, the heathens, the 2/3 of our people, the black woman. Okay, all of them, they're losing, and it's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. All right, but let me keep reading. This is Romans 8 and 6. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. See, to be carnally minded is death, because that's all it results to. All right, some type of destruction. Okay, let's keep reading. Verse 7. Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law, neither indeed can be. You see? Look, a man that's carnally minded isn't subject to the law of the Most High. They have that spirit of do as thou wilt. They're all over the place. All right? You see? No holds bar, man. And it's crazy though. I'm not really sure exactly, that whole situation, because there's a lot of psyops going on too. But I'll say this, because for whatever reason, this just popped in my head. You had that dude, Little Nas X. I don't know if brothers saw it, but this guy's got cerebral palsy. I believe, if I'm saying that correctly. All right, half of his face isn't even moving properly, and that's a plague from the Lord. And that's because this dude wanted to promote, homosexuality and Satanism. So the Lord got him. And mind you, this dude's young too, man. Probably like mid to at most late 20s. Probably like, I'm thinking maybe he's probably like 25, 26, maybe 27. He's just through. The Lord gets everybody, man. Judgment. He wanted to be a goddamn demon, so the Lord plagued his ass. So it says, so then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High. Exactly. Because you have a different standard, which is really no standard. All right. Hey, the ways of Esau, the ways of Babylon, black culture, man. Okay. You see? But like I said, this is all, this has all been created by, this whole black culture, right? It's just been a creation of Esau and Babylon. But let me get this real quick. Oh man, how is it? They wandered after the beast. There we go. Give me 1 second. This is Revelation chapter 13 And I'll just get straight to the point. Verse 3. This is Revelation 13:3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And that's basically going into the Roman Empire and how they got, revived, through America. Okay. And it says here, and all the world wondered after the beast. And when you go into that word wonder, all right, there's a few definitions, but I like to and I don't have internet on this phone, but I forgot the exact Greek word, but it goes into admiration. That was one of the definitions. And when you go into these words, you start breaking it down, it goes into respect. And respect, when you break that down, it goes into re meaning back and spec meaning look. So basically, this whole world, all right, but since we're talking about our people right now, in specific, they look back at the beast for answers. Okay? What should I do? What makes me good? What makes me bad? What's right? What's wrong? What's acceptable? What's not? You see? That's what our people do right now. Instead of following after Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and the righteous ways, they keep looking to Esau for answers. This system for answers. And this system tells our people you can do whatever you want. Love is love. Coexist. Don't deal with accountability. Throw that definition and that word out of your head. Get rid of it. And that's why our people act like fucking monkeys, man. Act like beasts. Hey, let me get that. They're brute beasts that need to be destroyed. And it's crazy because our people talk about how they're savages, beasts, right? I mean, that's what they are, right? All right. So the Lord's gonna treat them as so. This is oh man. I'm going to start at verse 7. Really, main points in 12, but I wanted to get a couple of these verses. I want to highlight a few things. This is 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 7. And deliver just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. And, we are in that same spirit. We're irritated with this world nonstop, with how they look. Shit, man. I feel like Agent Smith in the Matrix. What do you tell... What do you tell Morpheus? It's the smell. That's how I be feeling sometimes. Literally, the goddamn smell irritates me. The way that blunt smells. Okay, dreads, malt liquor. All right, weave. I hate it. I can't stand it. All that shit, man. Yeah. Our bitches got that fucking that Newport demon on them. Mix it with some Bath and Body Work lotion. That fucking smell. I hate it. I don't care, man. All that shit's whack. And then what they do day to day, man. How they look, everything. All right? Let me keep reading. For that righteous man's dwelling among them, in seeing and hearing, vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. And the reason why a lot of these people aren't getting executed by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is because that great judgment has to come. The Lord's saving them for the day of evil. All right? You see? That's the only reason why they're getting away with things, so to speak. Only but for a season. Because eventually it's going to end. Okay? Let's keep reading. But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanliness and despise government. And really it starts, I'll say this, the worst or I'll say this, the MVP of the 2/3 are these false prophets. Hey, the brother Yawani, he's originally from Chicago, but now he's in Des Moines out there in Iowa. He made that statement a few years back that the MVP of the 2/3 are all these false prophets. Because look, they know what to do, right? They knew the Lord's will and did it not. That's in the book of Luke. So what's going to happen to them? They're going to get beaten with many stripes. These guys aren't getting away. All right? And they have the worst spirit on them. They twist the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to use it to their advantage, right? To fulfill their carnal, lust. And that's wicked. That's one of the most wicked things you could do. All right? Let me keep reading. But what does it say? Despise government. They hate order. Look at, and I hate bringing this dude up, but it is what it is, because, the Lord's got the spotlight on him. But look at Elazar, man. And fuck that. He don't even deserve that name. Gorilla Hebrew. The Pegulator. Okay? Pegatron. Pegasus. Whatever you want to call him, right? This man, for a decade plus, man, hated being in order. Remember, he came from GMS, okay? Out there in Seattle. Couldn't deal with correction, rebukes, reproofs, getting in order. He got casted out, did his own thing, right? For the longest. And brothers have been, starting with the apostles on down, we've been rebuking this man and his whole congregation for years. And it's really out of love, mind you, just to get right. And let me get this real quick. Is that Proverbs? Often reproved. Let me get that. This is, Proverbs 29:1. He that being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. So this man has constantly been reproved, and every time he got reproved, he got worse. He hardened his neck more, got more stiff-necked, more hard-hearted, being a goddamn knucklehead, and he's eventually going to be destroyed. And we're already seeing the Lord is systematically breaking this guy down. Okay? He's through. He's smoked. There is no comeback. I'll say anything's possible with the Lord. But I really don't see a comeback with this guy. That is not a man of the Lord. Okay? That guy is smoked. He's through. And good, because, and the reason why I say good, because he's been rebellious for so long. Okay? The hell with him. Falsely accusing us. Being a goddamn demon. The hell with that guy. That's not a man of the Lord. And you can see it by his deeds. Okay? But let me finish this off. This is 2 Peter 2:10. But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanliness and despise government. Presumptuous are they. Self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignities. Okay? Whereas, they're not afraid to, to speak against, their elders, their, contemporaries, men of the Lord, basically. Self-willed. Do whatever, they do whatever the hell they want to do. And that's ultimately because the Lord hasn't judged them. They become proud. Hey, but them strange calamities are, they're already here. It's going back to the Pegulator, man, Gorilla Hebrew. Getting exposed like that, man. Come on. And more is gonna come out. Just watch. Just watch, man. More and more is gonna come out on this guy. And eventually, the Lord, Lord might give him a public execution, man. And everybody will know about it. You see? I'm going to keep reading. Whereas the angels, which are greater in power and might, bring not railing accusations against them before the Lord. Verse 12. But these, as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of the things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption. And this is what's coming, okay? Our people, since they want to be beasts, right? The Lord is going to destroy them. He's going to, euthanize them like a dirty rabid animal. And that's all Jake is right now, is a rabid animal out of control. Every time I open up my YouTube feed or start, looking up some articles or watch, something might pop up on the radio, like the news stations. All you hear about is Jake, doing smash and grabs. Jake, doing a teen takeover. Somebody got shot. Somebody got stabbed. Okay? If it's not that, then you see one of the celebrities pushing some type of abomination. Abortion. Oh, women's rights. Her body, her choice, right? They'll push that. If it's not that, then one of them is divorcing their husband, taking everything. You know? And if it's not that, then it's an award given to one of our men being a sodomite, being soft. You see? This is all you see with Jake. It's terrible, man. Our people are out of control. They're through. You know? But this was all created by Esau, Edom, and Babylon. And then what's so funny is now, Esau and these other people, they're mad about, what Jake's doing. But you created the monster. You created this monster. You allowed them to be like this. Now you're upset about it? No, it's just, see, it's just coming upon your own head. See, because what it was, Esau, what he expected for the longest was Jake to just be a menace to their own society. But now, because prophecy has to get fulfilled, it says what? That Judah, all right, starting, of course, with, Judah, the southern kingdom, and then, of course, on down, goes to Ephraim, into these, the other northern kingdom tribes. But starting off with Judah, it says what? Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Hey, man, these YNs are out of control, man. Out of control. And that's Esau could thank himself. All right? But, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to talk about that because it was something that, like I said, was said by the elder brother Jeremiah yesterday, when we were out there camping. How, basically Jake is a product of Esau in Babylon. And they created black culture. They created these little monsters, these little minions, these little gremlins. All right. And hey, the Lord's going to deal with our people. All right. But I'm going to end this lesson. Hopefully it was edifying. All right. And with that, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Also, I'm going to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to all you brothers out there. Shalom.